style, fake smile, watch a grin. We shoot first, the place while shot a grim. Ground plate, let us see proper rim. Black braid, another brain got a brick.
What is up, beautiful? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Social Life Eating and Fucking Musa. Today, girls and guys, today. Okay, so today, guys, I'm gonna talk to you guys about what is dark night of the soul and how do you know if you're going through the dark night of the soul. Okay, so I know I'm like low-key smiling, but this is a very serious topic. And first of all, girl, dark night of the soul, in comparison to like a spiritual awakenings can be like super tough. You know what I mean? They can be like very trying. Okay, and I'm not sure if everyone goes through a spiritual awakening. I think it's when, you know, a spiritual awakening, in short, I'm not really discussing that in depth today, right? But in short is when God is calling you, pretty much is what a spiritual awakening is. Your higher self and God is calling you. When you're going through a dark night of the soul, you are being pretty much tested by the universe, aka God, to see if you have your complete and full trust in Him. Okay, so like spiritual awakening, you'll get like, you know, ascension symptoms and different things like that, you know what I mean? And you might start to be inclined to like pray and be inclined to like become a better person, whereas like dark night of the soul, you're pretty much like, you know, we all go through like tough times and things like that in life, but this is like times fucking 10,000. When you go through dark night of the soul, you are pretty much at the point where you think that you love God, you think that you trust God, you think that you know, you're going through this walk of life and you kind of like know what you're doing, but then the universe, aka God, throws a fucking fireball at you and is like, so yeah, girl, the universe will like throw a fireball at you and he's like, what? Do you really trust in me? Do you really believe in me? Do I really have all your faith? Do I really have all your trust? It's like okay, spiritual awakening is like aha moment, and then dark night of the soul is like what the fuck moment. Okay, spiritual awakening is like getting closer to God, closer to your higher self, you know, wanting to be enlightened about, you know, most people like biblical knowledge, or like some people mystic knowledge and different things like that, and spirituality, right? But most people, when they get spiritually awakened, they just go through like, yeah, girl, most people when they get go through spiritual awakening, they just get like closer to their higher self and get closer to God. When you go through dark night of the soul, you experience most tough times, I think so, this is after you've had a spiritual awakening and you're like, okay, cool, you know, I love God, peace to the universe, zen, you know what I mean, all peace and cool. But then, like I was saying, the universe, aka God, throws a fucking fireball at you and you're just like, what in the fuck? Okay, I thought I knew God, I thought I was on the right path, I thought I was doing the right thing. Does God not love me? Like, for real, you go through that, like this tough ass period, a point in your life where you're just like, where you don't experience God, you know what I mean? Like, you don't, like, if you're a person that is accustomed of hearing from God, you don't really hear from God. If you're a person that's accustomed of being clairvoyant, clairaudient, you probably don't really even fucking experience your gifts at this point in time. When you're going through the dark night of the soul, you're literally in a fucking black abyss, mentally, spiritually. You know, it can also affect your physical health. You can start to see fucking hallucinations. You can start to see like glitches in the matrix. When you have spiritual awakening, you can see some glitches in the matrix too, but when you're going through dark night of the soul, you see these glitches in the matrix like on a different like level. It's like, what the fuck? Where am I going crazy? Okay, no sunshine. You are like, it's a traumatic experience for you. It can be like, you know, an accident that can happen. It can be like the death of someone very close to you. There's different things that just trigger, okay, this mind space. And remember, most spiritual terms that we speak of, you know, consciousness is reality. Okay, consciousness is your reality. So most terms that we speak of is just a space inside your consciousness. Death itself is even a space inside your consciousness. So yeah, pretty much you are being like tested by God. You know, everybody wants to go to church on Sunday, or oh, I'm so spiritual, or I'm woke, and all these terms. Like, it's so fucking fun and cute, but when you really are going through a spiritual awakening, or if you're really spiritually woke, it's not something that you fucking brag about, number one. Like, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm sharing this with you guys because, you know what I mean? Like, you guys are, I'm trying to build up a friendship, like a, you know, my tribe, my community here. But like, I don't go down the street bragging like, I'm woke, or I'm woke. Even I told you guys, sometimes when people come up to me and they're like, ooh, what crystal is that? I just kind of like, you know, sometimes I'll like, I won't tell them. I'll like avoid the question and stuff. Do not need to share everything with everybody. You know, that's just a little side note. But be cautious out here, because everybody wants to pretend they're woke and pretend they're spiritual and stuff like that. And I've had I've had guys come up to me. Like the other day, this guy was like, a couple weeks ago, and he was like, damn, you fine, or whatever, you know. And I was like, okay, thanks. And he was like, I see you on a spiritual kick. And I was like, okay, yeah. You notice that because what? I wear crystals, so now you think you can like play on my emotions and pretend you're spiritual too. Like, I just want to tell you guys, like, be careful, because number one, not everybody who says they're spiritual is spiritual. Number two, also I want to tell you guys, not every preacher out here that you should be listening to. So yeah, girl, dark night of the soul is not something that I would wish on my worst enemy. I'm telling you guys, that's really and truly how it is. Dark night of the soul is, say somebody like literally threw you in a fucking grave, in a pit, in a grave, okay? And you have to like claw your way the fuck out of this grave on your own. I'm speaking in metaphor, but you know, it's the only way that I can think to like describe to you guys, because you feel so fucking alone. You feel like so depressed. You feel so sad. You feel so heartbroken. You feel like God did this to you. Why? You know what I mean? And you're just like, God, don't you love me? Wasn't I doing the right thing? Is there something that I did wrong? You know, most conscious people, most people that, you know, want to draw closer to God, most spiritual people, okay, most of God's children will be like, did I do something wrong? Yeah, girl, you just feel like you did something wrong, and you want to know, why am I receiving this punishment? Now you have to remember is, you're not receiving a punishment, okay? God wants to test you to know that you are worthy of the gifts that he's about to give you, okay? Because most of the times when you go through dark night of the soul, after you dig yourself out of this dark abyss, okay, this black hole pit, all right, God is about to bless you, okay? So God is about to bless you, and he wants to know that you completely and 100,000% have your trust in him, and you're not going to let go of his hand no matter what. That's why he allowed this thing to happen to you. And you always have to remember to trust in God, because, you know, it doesn't please him to see us saddened like that, but he needs to know. You know, this is like, I just want to tell you guys also too, this is like beyond regular depression. This is beyond regular hurt. This is beyond fucking heartbreak. This is beyond any hurt that you've ever experienced. You ain't fucking experienced nothing until you've gone through dark night of the soul. I will say that I've heard it's most of times when you want something so bad from God that He will fucking snatch it away from you because you actually want it too much and you've been idolizing it. Is what it is. It's not that He doesn't love you, it's that He wants you to love Him most of all, above all things. And that's why He's testing you and He's trying to let you know, hey, no matter what, I'm still here. Okay? So I know, I just want to tell you guys, I know it's rough. I know it's hard. I know you feel like fucking dog shit. Okay? Like you will feel like dog shit. You probably won't even want to get out of bed. Another thing that will happen too is you're seeing hallucinations and stuff like that. You might start to lose track of like time. Like days and days might go by and you might think it's like fucking tomorrow, or you might wake up at nighttime and think it's daytime and stuff like that. You'll really know like this is not regular heartbreak. This is not regular hurt. This is God drawing you closer to Him, but He has to leave you for a moment of solitude.